talk to for my video? The people of YouTube. So they would see me on their computers.
I'm not gonna play.
You're not in my way. Are you gonna be able to be quiet? I don't know if I'm gonna be able to talk to the camera with you sitting there watching. Hey, happy Friday. So today I wanted to talk about parenting because I have a 3-year-old. And I have a 3-year-old sitting off camera on the couch who's not gonna come in the video. You're gonna stay over there and be quiet. She's promised that she's gonna do that, but she was very curious about my filming setup and everything. So we'll see what happens and how this goes. But my child recently turned 3. And now I feel a little bit nervous. I'm about to share all of my parenting lessons with you as she's observing. She's like, Mom, you're not very good at that at all. I'm not a parenting guru or expert, so anything that I'm about to say, please take with a hefty grain of salt because I don't have all the answers, but I want to talk more about what I'm thinking about in terms of parenting. I will say, and I take pretty much no credit for this, but I have a really cool kid who is really clever. She asks a lot of questions. She's obsessed with numbers right now and counting. It's really cool to watch her, to listen to her talk. Like, we have full conversations, and she really likes singing, and we make songs out of things. Like today we were making a song out of the sequence of the days of the week, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is the last day of the week. Yeah, exactly. So, because she was very curious about sequencing. So, so my battery's dying. So I'm going to try to make sure this is quick. The most important thing for me with raising a kid that I think about the most is building good habits. And this is in terms of modeling, so the habits that she sees me employ in my day-to-day life. There's everything from habits of kindness to habits of checking my phone and everything in between. So I want her to grow up with certain habits. Stay over there. A really important one for us, of course, is being kind. But there are lots of other habits, like habits of focus. I think focus is a really critical one. Habit of curiosity. Like paying attention, being interested, asking questions. Yeah, so cultivating good habits, because habits end up becoming your life. So whatever habits that you develop in childhood, whether they be habits of reading, habits of watching TV, habits of the way you treat other people, habits of politeness, focus, concentration, the way you play, there's habits in every aspect of our lives. And those are the things that end up, I guess you're bored of me now. Bye. Have fun.
I'm doing that.
I know, you're going to go downstairs. That's probably going to be more fun for you. Okay.
Yeah, we play in
You're going to play balloons? Okay, that would probably be more fun than watching your mom. But that's the thing that I think about as I parent my child. So I'm not thinking so much like, so for example, one habit that I've done that I think makes a big difference is I almost never pull out my phone when I'm hanging out with her. Because I don't really think that a 3-year-old can understand why you are paying attention to your phone instead of them. And it's not to say, I think she needs to have the habit of being able to create her own games and play by herself. So I'm a big fan of self-directed play for children. So I'm not always entertaining her, but at the same time, if I'm looking at a phone, what is that showing her? Especially if she's asking me questions or trying to engage with me and I'm looking at a screen. I don't think, like, that's not the thing I want her to see me do. I would much rather be doing something more interesting. So when I'm hanging around with my child or like beside her while she's playing, oftentimes I'm doing things like reading a book because she's gonna notice that. That's modeling, right? So what am I doing? And those will be the things that she'll probably be influenced by, to some degree anyway, not perfectly. But another thing is I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't watch TV at all, pretty much ever. Like, we watch the Super Bowl, but generally I don't watch TV with her at all. Sometimes we'll watch Dora the Explorer in the morning, so I can get like an extra 30 minutes sleep, and that's pretty great. But aside from that, like, TV's not a part of our lives. So she doesn't see me watch TV, and so she doesn't, and we don't have like an iPad. She doesn't have like a screen or anything to play with. So it's not something she asks about. So she's not asking to watch TV, except she does ask to watch Dora first thing in the morning. But she's much more likely, like today, when she woke up in the morning, she brought a book into my bed. She wanted me to read her a book. So I really pay attention to cultivating a habit of reading books, for example, instead of watching TV. And since I've been aware of this or been thinking like this since she was way younger, it's just never been something that I've had to take away or like wean her off of technology, because we haven't had it in our lives that much. And the daycare she goes to is screen free as well. So her daycare is really, really cool. Like it's a farm. They have animals, and they have like a big play area, lots of musical instruments and stuff like that, but they don't have TVs or screens of any kind. So that's also really cool. So it's just not a part of her, it's not a big part of her day-to-day experience. So that's just an example of how I'm thinking and how I think that benefits her in the future. It's not that I want her to not experience technology, because technology is going to be a part of all of our futures, and there's no reason to not experience it at all. However, it can be really really distracting. So if you spend too much time on screens, I've talked about this before, especially children who are way more susceptible to this kind of thing. It's giving you input, and it's totally passive a lot of the time. Even if you're playing a game, you're just kind of like following cues. And I don't like the kind of dull look she gets on her face when I see her interacting with the screen. I would much rather see that look of brightness in her face that she gets when she's doing like a puzzle, which we like to do puzzles together and stuff like that as well, where she's more engaged and I can tell she's actually thinking. So that's the skill, that's the habit that I want her to have, the habit of thought, the habit of focus and attention. And I think that too much use of screen can fracture a child's focus, ability to focus, because I think that's the thing that most of us could probably stand to improve. And I've talked about this before on the channel as well, like the idea that focus is probably one of the most important adult skills in this world, just because it's becoming more scarce and rare for people to be able to focus for long periods of time, the kind of focus that you need to do truly original, creative, and innovative work. So so just to wrap up, as my battery's dying, see if I can get like any more words in. As I raise a 3-year-old, I'm thinking about, okay, what kind of adult do I want this person to be? What kind of habits do I want her to have now that'll serve her as she gets older, into adulthood, into later childhood, and so on. And that's my parenting story. Yeah, so my battery totally died. I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching this video, and maybe at some point in the future I'll talk more about parenting without the distraction of having my child just like slowly inching into the screen from the side. Anyway, have a great weekend. I'll catch up with you guys soon.